Life can be incredibly painful when you're caught in the grip of a narcissist, someone who manipulates, deceives, and drains your spirit. The emotional wounds they leave can make you feel abandoned, broken, and lost. But here's the truth. God sees everything. He knows your pain, and He is not silent. When a narcissist tries to destroy you, God steps in with His power, His justice, and His healing. Today I want to share with you 5 powerful ways God acts when a narcissist tries to break you. Even in your darkest moments, God is working behind the scenes, protecting, strengthening, and preparing you for something greater. No weapon formed against you will prosper, because God's power is always greater than the enemy's attack. Let's dive into His divine plan for your restoration and victory. God reveals the truth in ways that are often unexpected, but always necessary for our growth and protection. When dealing with a narcissist, it is easy to become ensnared in their web of deception, manipulation, and control. They present themselves as charming, confident, and even caring at first, making it difficult to see their true nature. Over time, however, their actions begin to contradict their words, and confusion sets in. This confusion is not from God, but rather a tool of the enemy to keep you bound. God, in His infinite wisdom, does not leave His children in darkness. He begins to shine His light on the situation, exposing the lies and revealing the reality of what is happening. One of the first ways God reveals the truth is by allowing you to see inconsistencies in the narcissist's behavior. At first, these may seem small, perhaps a lie that doesn't quite add up or a promise that is repeatedly broken. But over time, these inconsistencies become glaring. You start to notice patterns in their behavior, such as how they shift blame onto you, refuse to take responsibility, and twist reality to suit their narrative. This process of revelation is painful but necessary, because seeing the truth is the first step toward freedom. God does not want His children to remain trapped in deception. His word tells us in John 8:32, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Another way God reveals the truth is through your own feelings of unrest and unease. Many people in narcissistic relationships experience a deep, nagging feeling that something is off, but struggle to pinpoint what it is. This inner turmoil is often the Holy Spirit speaking, urging you to pay attention. God speaks to His children in many ways, and one of those ways is through discernment. If you constantly feel anxious, strained, or emotionally manipulated around someone, this is not a coincidence. God is allowing you to feel these emotions as a warning sign. Ignoring these signs often leads to deeper entanglement with the narcissist. But when you begin to trust those instincts, you take the first steps towards seeing the situation for what it truly is. God also uses other people to confirm the truth. You may begin to hear similar stories of others who have encountered the same narcissistic person. Perhaps a trusted friend, family member, or mentor starts to express concern about your situation. These confirmations are not accidents. They are divine interventions meant to help open your eyes. The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 11:14 that where there is no guidance, a people falls. But in an abundance of counselors, there is safety. When God is revealing the truth, He often does so through multiple sources, so that you cannot ignore it. Another way God exposes the truth is by allowing situations to unfold that bring the narcissist's true nature to light. This can happen through their own actions. Perhaps they become reckless in their behavior, their lies catch up with them, or they mistreat someone else in a way that is undeniable. When God decides to expose something, nothing can remain hidden. Luke 8:17 says, "For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." This exposure can be shocking and painful, but it is ultimately a gift, because it allows you to finally see what you need to see in order to move forward. Sometimes God removes His hedge of protection from the narcissist, allowing the consequences of their actions to unfold. This doesn't mean God delights in punishment, but rather He allows justice to take its course. When a narcissist has spent years deceiving and manipulating others, there comes a time when their actions catch up with them. You may witness their reputation crumble, their lies being exposed publicly, or their influence weakening. These moments can be difficult to process, especially if you have cared for or loved this person. But they are part of God's plan to bring the truth to the surface. God also reveals the truth through His Word. When you turn to the Bible for guidance, you may start to see scriptures that directly speak to your situation. Verses about deception, wickedness, and false prophets may suddenly stand out in ways they never did before. This is not a coincidence. God's Word is alive and active, and He speaks to His children through it. As you spend time in prayer and Scripture, He will guide you to passages that provide clarity and confirmation about what is happening. For example, 2 Timothy 3:025 describes people in the last days who are lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with such people. When you read descriptions like this and realize they match the person you are dealing with, it becomes clear that God is speaking to you. Another powerful way God reveals the truth is by giving you dreams, visions, or strong convictions. Many people who have suffered narcissistic abuse share stories of having dreams that revealed hidden truths about the person they were dealing with. These dreams may show symbolic images of betrayal, masks coming off, or even direct messages that help them understand what is really happening. In the Bible, God often spoke to people through dreams to warn them or give them guidance. In Job 33:14 and 16, it says, "For God speaks again and again, though people do not recognize it. He speaks in dreams, in visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on people as they lie in their beds. He whispers in their ears and terrifies them with warnings." If you experience this, it is important to take it seriously and seek God in prayer for confirmation. God's revelation of truth is also a process of personal transformation. As He reveals the truth about the narcissist, He also reveals truths about yourself. You may begin to see patterns in your own life, perhaps past wounds that made you vulnerable to this type of relationship, or areas where you need healing and growth. This self-awareness is another gift because it allows you to break free from cycles of pain and move toward a healthier future. Sometimes the truth He reveals is not just about the narcissist, but also about the ways you need to rely on him more deeply. This can be a humbling but liberating realization. Through this journey of revelation, God provides comfort. The truth can be painful, but it is always meant for your good. As you begin to see things clearly, you may feel a mix of emotions: grief for the time lost, anger at the deception, and even fear about what comes next. But God does not reveal the truth just to leave you in pain. He reveals it so you can heal, grow, and step into the life He has planned for you. Even when the truth is hard to accept, God's presence is there to guide and strengthen you. Isaiah 41:10 reminds us, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Recognizing the truth is not always immediate. Sometimes we resist it because we want to believe in the good of the narcissist. We hold on to hope that they will change or that things will get better. But God, in His mercy, continues to nudge us until we can no longer ignore what is being revealed. When the truth finally becomes undeniable, it is both a moment of clarity and a moment of decision. Will we trust God's revelation and take steps toward freedom, or will we continue to live in denial? God is patient, but He also desires for His children to walk in truth and light, not in confusion and darkness. God provides strength in ways that go beyond human understanding, especially when dealing with a narcissist who seeks to break your spirit. Narcissistic abuse can leave you feeling exhausted, confused, and powerless. The constant gaslighting, manipulation, and emotional attacks wear down even the strongest individuals. You may begin to doubt yourself, question your worth, and feel as though you have no way out. But in these moments of weakness, God steps in with his divine strength, lifting you up when you feel you can no longer stand. His power is not limited by human limitations, and when you rely on him, he becomes your source of endurance, resilience, and courage. One of the first ways God provides strength is by renewing your mind. A narcissist's goal is often to distort reality, making you believe that you are the problem, that you are unworthy, or that you are incapable of standing up for yourself. Over time, these lies can take root in your thoughts, shaping the way you see yourself and your situation. But God's truth is stronger than any deception. Romans 12:02 reminds us, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. God begins to work within you, shifting your mindset from one of fear and confusion to one of clarity and confidence. He reminds you of your worth, your value, and the fact that you are his beloved child. As you immerse yourself in his word, the lies of the narcissist lose their grip, and you begin to see yourself through God's eyes, rather than through the distorted lens of manipulation. God also strengthens you emotionally, helping you withstand the psychological attacks that come with narcissistic abuse. Emotional pain can be just as intense as physical pain, and when someone continually invalidates your feelings, undermines your confidence, and seeks to control your emotions, it can be incredibly draining. But God is the ultimate healer of broken hearts. Psalm 34:18 tells us the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. His presence provides a deep sense of peace, even in the midst of turmoil. He equips you with the ability to detach from the toxic influence of the narcissist, no longer allowing their words and actions to dictate your emotional state. Through his guidance, you learn to set boundaries, protect your heart, and find joy even in difficult circumstances. Another way God provides strength is by giving you the courage to take necessary action. Many victims of narcissistic abuse feel trapped, whether due to fear, financial dependence, or emotional manipulation. The idea of leaving or standing up for oneself can seem overwhelming. But God does not call his children to live in oppression. He gives them the courage to make decisions that align with his will for their lives. Isaiah 41:10 reassures us, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. This divine strength enables you to take steps you never thought possible, whether it's setting firm boundaries, speaking up for yourself, or even walking away from a toxic situation. The courage he provides is not based on human bravery, but on the knowledge that he is with you, guiding and protecting you every step of the way. God also strengthens you through community. One of the tactics of a narcissist is to isolate their victims, making them feel alone and dependent. They may turn people against you, manipulate your relationships, or convince you that no one else understands what you are going through. But God places the right people in your life at the right time. He surrounds you with individuals who will speak truth into your life, offer support, and remind you that you are not alone. Ecclesiastes 4:9 tells us, two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. Whether it's through friends, family, a support group, or a church community, God uses people as vessels of his strength, encouraging you and walking alongside you in your journey to healing. Physical strength is another way God sustains you during this time. Stress, anxiety, and emotional distress take a toll on the body, often leading to exhaustion, illness, and burnout. When dealing with a narcissist, it is common to experience sleepless nights, loss of appetite, or chronic fatigue due to the constant emotional turmoil. But God is not only concerned with your spiritual and emotional well-being, He cares about your physical health as well. Isaiah 40:29 states, He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. He provides the energy and endurance you need to get through each day, even when you feel like you have nothing left to give. He may lead you to make healthier choices, prioritize self-care, and find ways to restore your body as you heal from the effects of prolonged stress. God's strength is also evident in the way He gives you wisdom and discernment when you are entangled with a narcissist. Decision-making becomes difficult because of the manipulation and mind games. You may feel uncertain about what to believe or how to proceed, but James 1:5 promises, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. God equips you with the ability to see things clearly, recognize manipulation tactics, and make choices that align with His will. He helps you navigate complex situations with clarity, ensuring that you do not fall back into toxic cycles. His wisdom becomes your guiding light, showing you the path forward even when everything around you feels uncertain. One of the most powerful ways God provides strength is by giving you the ability to forgive, not for the sake of the narcissist, but for your own peace and freedom. Holding on to resentment and anger only keeps you connected to the pain they caused. Forgiveness does not mean excusing their behavior or allowing them back into your life, but rather it means releasing the burden of bitterness so that you can heal. Ephesians 4:31-32 instructs, get rid of all bitterness, rage and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as in Christ God forgave you. God provides the supernatural strength to let go of the hurt, not because the narcissist deserves it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness is a testament to His power within you, proving that His grace is stronger than any wound inflicted upon you. God's strength also manifests in the restoration of your identity. Narcissistic abuse can strip away your sense of self, leaving you feeling unworthy and lost. But God reminds you who you are in Him. You are not defined by the way a narcissist treated you. You are not weak, unlovable, or insignificant. You are a child of the Most High God, fearfully and wonderfully made. 2 Corinthians 12:9 states, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. When you feel like you have nothing left, His power fills the gaps, lifting you up and restoring everything that was stolen from you. He reaffirms your worth, heals your heart, and strengthens you to move forward with confidence, knowing that you are deeply loved and divinely protected. Even in moments of doubt, when the weight of the situation feels unbearable, God's strength remains constant. He does not abandon His children or leave them defenseless against the schemes of the enemy. Instead, He fortifies them, equips them, and ensures that they come out of the battle stronger than before. The strength He provides is not just for survival, but for transformation, turning pain into purpose and suffering into testimony. When you place your trust in Him, you find that His power is greater than anything the narcissist tried to take from you. Through Him, you rise above the attack, stand firm in your faith, and walk forward in victory, knowing that no force of darkness can prevail against the strength of God working within you. God delivers you from the grasp of a narcissist in ways that are sometimes immediate and obvious, but other times subtle and gradual. When trapped in a toxic relationship, whether it be romantic, familial, professional, or even within a church setting, it can feel as though escape is impossible. The narcissist creates an environment of confusion, control, and fear, making you believe that leaving is either too dangerous, too difficult, or not worth it. But God is a deliverer. He is not a God of bondage, but a God of freedom. Throughout the Bible, He repeatedly rescues His people from oppression, guiding them to safety and restoration. His plans for your life do not include remaining in an environment where you are being used, manipulated, and emotionally drained. When he decides to set you free, no force of darkness can keep you bound. One of the first ways God delivers you is by opening your eyes to the reality of your situation. Many times people remain in toxic relationships because they do not fully grasp the depth of the deception and abuse they are experiencing. A narcissist thrives on distorting reality, making their victims believe that they are overreacting, being too sensitive, or even causing the very pain they are experiencing. But God is a God of truth, and He does not allow His children to live in falsehood indefinitely. He begins to remove the veil from your eyes, allowing you to see the narcissist's true nature. He highlights the manipulation, exposes the lies, and reveals the patterns of abuse that have kept you trapped. This awakening can be painful because it forces you to confront the reality that the person you trusted or loved is not who they pretended to be. But without this revelation, there can be no true deliverance. It is the first step in breaking free from the hold they have on you. As God reveals the truth, He also begins to shift your heart and mind. When entangled with a narcissist, it is common to feel emotionally dependent on them. You may seek their validation, approval, or love even when they repeatedly withhold it. This emotional attachment can feel like an unbreakable chain, keeping you bound to someone who only brings harm. But God, in His mercy, begins to detach your heart from the narcissist. He replaces the longing for their approval with a deeper desire for His love and truth. He strengthens you to no longer crave their attention or fear their rejection. This process may not happen overnight, but it is a divine work of transformation. The more you seek God, the more He fills the void that the narcissist once occupied. His love becomes the source of your identity, rather than the empty words of someone who only used love as a tool for control. God also orchestrates circumstances that push you toward freedom. Sometimes He allows situations to unfold that force you to leave when you might not have had the strength to do so on your own. This can look like a major betrayal, a sudden exposure of their wrongdoing, or even their own reckless behavior leading to consequences that make it clear you need to walk away. Other times, God gradually removes your tolerance for the abuse. What once seemed tolerable or excusable now becomes unbearable. The things you used to justify in the narcissist behavior suddenly stand out as glaring red flags that you can no longer ignore. This is God working within you, aligning your spirit with His truth, so that you can no longer settle for less than what He has for you. There are also times when God intervenes in ways that feel disruptive, but are ultimately for your protection. He may close doors that you desperately wanted to remain open, remove people from your life who were enabling the narcissist's control over you, or allow painful separations that, though difficult, are necessary for your healing. These moments can feel confusing, and it may seem like everything is falling apart, but in reality, God is stripping away everything that was keeping you bound so that you can walk into the freedom He has prepared for you. He is severing toxic ties, breaking soul ties, and ensuring that nothing keeps you from stepping into His will for your life. Deliverance is not just about physical escape, though that is often part of it. It is also about breaking free spiritually and emotionally. Narcissistic abuse has a way of damaging the soul, creating wounds that linger even after the person is no longer in your life. But God's deliverance is complete. He does not simply pull you out of the toxic situation and leave you to heal on your own. He actively works to restore what was broken. He begins to heal the self-doubt, the fear, and the deep emotional scars that were inflicted. He removes the lies that were planted in your mind, lies about your worth, your abilities, and your identity. He speaks life into you, reminding you that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you are loved beyond measure, and that you were never meant to live in oppression. God also provides divine protection during and after your deliverance. Many people who escape narcissistic abuse find that the narcissist does not let go easily. They may try to hoover their way back into your life using charm, guilt, or even threats to pull you back into their grasp. But God is your defender. He places a hedge of protection around you, ensuring that their attempts to regain control over you fail. Psalm 91:4 says, "He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. His presence surrounds you, shielding you from their schemes and preventing you from falling back into the cycle of abuse. Even if they attempt to harm you, God turns their plans against them, ensuring that what they meant for evil is transformed for your good. God also delivers you by surrounding you with the right people." A narcissist's tactic is often to isolate their victim, making them feel as though they have no support system. They may turn people against you, manipulate your relationships, or make you feel as though no one will understand or believe you. But when God is delivering you, he begins to bring the right people into your life. People who will encourage you, speak truth into your situation, and support you on your journey to healing. Whether it is through close friends, family, a church community, or even a support group, God ensures that you are not walking this path alone. He provides relationships that reflect his love, teaching you what healthy, Christ-centered interactions should look like. God's deliverance also comes with restoration. Narcissistic abuse often leaves people feeling depleted, as though they have lost years of their life to manipulation and pain. But God is a redeemer. He restores what was stolen, replenishes what was drained, and brings beauty from ashes. He replaces the years of pain with new purpose, using your experience as a testimony to help others who may be walking a similar path. He takes what the enemy meant for harm and turns it into a story of his faithfulness, strength, and love. Joel 2:25 promises, "I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten." Nothing is wasted in God's hands. Every tear, every struggle, and every hardship is transformed into a stepping stone toward a greater destiny. Even after delivering you from the narcissist's grip, God continues to guide you on the journey ahead. Freedom is not just about leaving behind what was toxic, but about stepping into something greater. He begins to reveal new opportunities, new callings, and new levels of faith that you may not have experienced before. He deepens your relationship with him, teaching you to rely on his voice above all others. He shows you that true love, peace, and security are found in him alone, and that no human relationship should ever take the place of his presence in your life. God brings justice in his perfect timing and in ways that far surpass human understanding. When dealing with a narcissist who has used and abused you, it can often feel like they escape consequences, continuing their destructive behavior without facing any repercussions. The injustice of it all can weigh heavily on your heart, especially when they deceive others into believing their false narratives. It may seem like they always come out on top, manipulating situations to their advantage while leaving a trail of pain in their wake. But God is a God of justice. He sees everything, the lies, the deception, the harm inflicted upon you, and he does not ignore wrongdoing. Though it may not happen on your preferred timeline, he assures you that justice will be served. One of the first ways God brings justice is by exposing the truth. Narcissists thrive in secrecy, relying on deception and manipulation to maintain their power. They twist reality to make themselves appear as the victim or the hero while casting blame on others. They control the narrative, convincing those around them that they are innocent while portraying you as the problem. But God is the revealer of truth. Luke 8:17 states, "For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light." In his divine timing, he pulls back the curtain, allowing the truth to be revealed in ways that even the narcissist cannot control. He orchestrates circumstances that force their mask to slip, exposing their true nature to those who once believed their lies. Sometimes this exposure happens through their own actions. A narcissist's arrogance often leads them to believe that they are untouchable, causing them to become careless. They may overplay their hand, thinking they can manipulate their way out of any situation, only to find themselves caught in their own web of deception. The very people they sought to deceive may begin to see inconsistencies in their stories, recognizing the patterns of manipulation. God allows them to reveal their own darkness, ensuring that their lies can no longer hold power over others. The very tactics they once used to control you begin to work against them, turning their own schemes into their downfall. God also brings justice by allowing consequences to unfold in their lives. While it may seem like they move from one victim to the next without repercussions, no one escapes divine justice. Galatians 6:7 declares, "Do not be deceived, God is not mocked, for whatever one sows, that will he also reap." Narcissists may believe they can escape accountability, but their actions inevitably lead to consequences. This can manifest in many ways. Relationships they worked hard to manipulate may begin to crumble, their reputation may suffer, or they may find themselves in situations where their tactics no longer work. The very charm they once used to deceive others may begin to lose its effect, and the people who once admired them may start to see through their facade. Sometimes God allows them to experience the emptiness of their own choices. Narcissists rely on external validation to fuel their sense of superiority, but when their manipulations stop working, they are left with nothing but themselves. Without people to control, without admiration to sustain them, they are confronted with the reality of their own emptiness. This can be one of the most devastating consequences for a narcissist because their entire identity is built on falsehoods. God does not have to strike them down with immediate punishment. Many times, He allows them to self-destruct under the weight of their own actions. The very foundation they built their lives upon begins to crumble, not because someone else destroyed it, but because it was never built on truth to begin with. God also brings justice by vindicating you. One of the most painful aspects of dealing with a narcissist is the false accusations and smear campaigns they spread. They may have turned people against you, distorted the truth, or painted themselves as the victim while making you out to be the villain. This kind of injustice can be deeply painful, especially when those you trusted believed the lies. But God assures you that He will defend you. Isaiah 54:17 promises, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn." This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. He ensures that in time the truth about you is known. Those who doubted you may begin to see the reality for themselves, recognizing the narcissist's true character. The falsehoods spoken against you begin to unravel, and people who once turned away may return with a new understanding. Another way God enacts justice is by healing and restoring you. While it may not seem like justice in the conventional sense, your healing is one of the most powerful ways God demonstrates His justice. A narcissist's goal is often to leave their victims broken, doubting themselves, and feeling unworthy. They seek to strip you of your confidence, joy, and sense of self. But when God steps in, He does not allow their plans to succeed. Instead, He lifts you up, healing the wounds they inflicted and restoring everything they tried to take from you. Joel 2:25 declares, "I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten." This restoration is God's way of showing that no matter what was done to harm you, He is greater. He takes what was meant for evil and turns it into something beautiful, using your pain as a testimony of His power and faithfulness. God's justice is not always about immediate retribution, but about setting things right in a way that aligns with His divine plan. He works not only in your life, but in the lives of others impacted by the narcissist. He may use your story to help others recognize the signs of abuse, preventing them from falling into similar traps. He may use your experience to strengthen you, preparing you for a purpose greater than you imagined. His justice is not just about punishing the narcissist. It is about elevating you, ensuring that what was meant to destroy you only makes you stronger. God's justice is also about breaking the generational cycles that narcissistic abuse often perpetuates. Many narcissists were raised in environments that shaped them into who they are, passing down patterns of manipulation, control, and emotional destruction. But God's justice does not just stop with one person. He works to break these chains so that they do not continue. He steps into the story, rewriting the narrative for future generations. What once seemed like an unbreakable cycle is disrupted by his intervention, ensuring that those who come after you are no longer bound by the same patterns of destruction. At times, God's justice may not look the way you expect. It may not come in the form of public exposure, immediate consequences, or dramatic retribution. But it is always present. His justice is precise, ensuring that what was done in darkness does not go unaddressed. He does not overlook pain, and he does not ignore wrongdoing. His justice may unfold in ways that are unseen at first, but it is always at work. Even when it seems like the narcissist continues unchallenged, God's hand is moving, ensuring that no evil act goes unnoticed or unaccounted for. While waiting for justice can be difficult, God calls you to trust in his timing. Psalm 37:7 instructs, "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes." His justice is not based on human timing, but on his divine plan. He knows exactly when and how to act, ensuring that everything unfolds according to his perfect will. His justice is not just about bringing consequences, but about restoring balance, healing wounds, and ensuring that his children walk in freedom rather than oppression.